All right, so we're diving into chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, the path of action. And this chapter, man, it gets right to the heart of a struggle I think we all know too well, right? That huge gap between knowing what you should do and actually, doing it.
And this really is the big question Arjuna throws out there. I mean, if the whole point is to gain knowledge and wisdom, why do we have to get our hands dirty? Why bother with all the messy, complicated, and, let's be honest, often painful stuff in life? It's a question that hits us everywhere, doesn't it? In our jobs, with our families, in everything we feel we have to do. So here's Arjuna literally in the middle of a battlefield, just pouring out all this confusion to Krishna. He's pretty much saying, look, you're confusing me. One minute you're talking about how great knowledge is, and the next you're telling me to jump into this horrible war. Just tell me the one thing I need to do. And that desperate plea for clarity, it's what kicks off one of the most practical and powerful chapters in the whole Gita.
So let's get into it. This is what we can call the action paradox. Arjuna is totally stuck. He's thinking, okay, knowledge is the best, so action must be worse, right? Maybe even pointless. But oh man, Krishna is about to flip that entire idea on its head. And Krishna doesn't just bark an order back at him. Instead, he starts by laying out the bigger picture. He explains that, look, there have always been two main spiritual highways, two paths people can take. He's showing Arjuna, hey, you're not the first person to struggle with this. This is an ancient problem, and there are well-trodden paths to solve it. Now, Krishna makes it super clear these paths aren't fighting each other. You've got the path of knowledge, or jnana yoga, for the thinkers, the contemplatives, and then you've got the path of action, karma yoga, for the doers, the people who are active in the world. It's not about one being better. It's about what fits your nature. He's essentially looking at Arjuna and saying, dude, you're a warrior. Your destiny isn't to run from the fight. It's to completely change how you fight. And then Krishna drops a bombshell. He's about to build his case, and he starts with this incredible idea. The very thought that you can choose not to act, well, that's a total illusion. Seriously, think about it for a second. Even if you're sitting perfectly still, trying to do nothing, you're still acting, right? Your heart is pumping, you're breathing, your mind is racing. Krishna says we're all helplessly driven to action by our very nature. The universe itself is always moving, always changing, and we're a part of that. So doing nothing, it's just not possible. And that leads to this massive shift in perspective. The real spiritual game isn't about trying to escape your responsibilities or your work. No, the real challenge and the amazing opportunity is to figure out how to act. It's all about changing the intention and the quality of the things you're already doing every single day. Okay, so this brings us right to the core of chapter 3. If we're all stuck acting anyway, the big question is, how do we do it right? And this is where Krishna gives us the secret formula, the key to turning any action you do into something that can actually set you free. That secret formula is karma yoga. And the key idea here is what's called skill in action. Now, this isn't about working harder or being more productive in the usual sense. It's about working with a completely different mindset, a transformed awareness that can turn your job, your chores, your whole life into a spiritual practice, a form of yoga. So how do you actually do this? Well, Krishna lays it out in 3 really clear steps. First, just do your duty. Do the work that's in front of you, the stuff that is yours to do. Step 2, and this is probably the most famous teaching in the whole Gita, act without being attached to the results. Do the work for its own sake, not for the praise or the reward or the fear of failure. And finally, step 3, offer it all up for the greater good. See your work as a contribution to the whole. Now that third step, acting for the sake of the whole, is a really big deal. In fact, it's so important that Krishna spends a good chunk of time explaining the cosmic why behind it. He's about to show us how our smallest actions are actually connected to the engine of the entire universe. The idea he presents is just beautiful. When we act without selfishness, we're not just being nice, we're literally fueling the universe. We're taking part in this huge cosmic cycle of giving and receiving, helping to sustain the entire system. Our actions are like the fuel that keeps this whole grand engine running. And Krishna lays out this cycle very practically. He says our prescribed actions, when done as a sacrifice, lead to rain. Rain gives us food, and food sustains all of us, all living beings.
It's this incredible interconnected web. It means that the work you do right here, right now, has cosmic importance. We're all essential parts of this giant machine of existence.
And he makes it clear that the stakes are incredibly high. If you try to step outside of this cycle, if you only take for yourself and never give back, Krishna says you live in vain. That is a powerful, powerful warning against a life lived only for yourself. It's really a call to find our meaning by participating, by contributing to this great cosmic dance. Okay, so the path seems clear, right? We have to act, and we should do it selflessly, for the good of everyone. Sounds amazing, but we all know how hard that actually is. Why is it so difficult? Well, Arjuna wonders the same thing, and his next question shifts the focus from the world outside to the war going on inside each of us.
And honestly, this might be one of the most relatable questions in the entire book. Arjuna asks, what is it that pushes a person to do the wrong thing even when they don't want to, as if by force? I mean, who hasn't felt that? You know the right thing to do, but it feels like something else is steering the ship. He's asking, what is this powerful enemy inside of us? Krishna's answer is short, sharp, and cuts right to the bone. He says the enemy is desire, and its twin brother, wrath. He calls it an all-consuming enemy, and it makes perfect sense, right? Wrath, or anger, is just what bubbles up when our desires get blocked. And to help us understand just how this enemy works, Krishna gives us 3 incredible images. He says, desire covers our inner wisdom the way smoke covers a fire. The flame is still there, but you can't see it, you can't feel its warmth. He says it's like dust on a mirror. The clear reflection is underneath, but all you see is grime. And finally, it's like a womb covering an embryo. The potential for life is there, but it's hidden, not yet ready to be seen. So, if that's the enemy, how do we fight it? Krishna gives us a 3-step battle plan. Step 1, start with the senses. They're the gateways where desire gets in, so you have to regulate them first. Step 2, understand the chain of command inside yourself. The senses are powerful, but the mind is higher than the senses. And the intellect, your reason, is higher than the mind. And step 3, realize that your true self is above all of it. The strategy is to use your higher powers, your intellect, and your connection to your true self to gain mastery over your lower urges. And this is Krishna's final, powerful command in this chapter. He tells Arjuna to steady yourself by yourself and conquer this formidable enemy in the form of desire. It's an incredible call to action because he's saying the power is already inside you. You have to be the one to do it using your own higher nature to conquer your lower one. And just like that, we've come full circle. That action paradox from the beginning, it's solved. It was never the action that was the problem. It was the selfish desire and the attachment to the outcome behind the action. Once you get a handle on that inner enemy, the very same work that used to tie you up in knots with stress and anxiety, that work becomes the very thing that sets you free. So I want to leave you with a question to chew on. As you look at your own life, your own personal battlefield, what is your essential duty? What's the unique contribution that only you can make? And maybe more importantly, what's that inner desire, that inner enemy you need to conquer so you can perform that duty with skill, with joy, and with total freedom?